I no longer think that it's the Golden Bachelorette winner Chock Chapple's fault season 1 lead Joan Vassos isn't seeing her family enough. Chock beat out 23 other Golden men to win 62-year-old school administrator Joan's heart. He received Joan's first one-on-one date, where she whisked him away to Disneyland for the day before sharing an intimate dinner where they got to know each other on a deeper level. Joan was smitten with Chock all season long and was devastated when Chock's mother passed away during filming, and he had to lead the experience. However, Chock returned a few days later and continued to woo Joan. Joan took Chock, Guy Gansert, and Pascal Abgay on the final dates in Tahiti. After Pascal self-eliminated, Joan let Guy know that Chock had her heart. Chock proposed to Joan during the final rose ceremony, and the pair have been stepping out as an engaged couple ever since. Within their newly engaged life, Joan has been spending a lot of time away from her family, and many have blamed Chock for it. But I don't think it's his fault anymore. Bachelor Nation's Chock did not win a lot of Golden fans during his pursuit of Joan. Chock was an aggressive contestant and showcased his interest in Joan at every turn, leaving the other contestants upset at his seeming smothering of Joan. During a group bowling date, Chock had his arm around Joan most of the time and wouldn't let the other men have a chance to talk to her. Post-show, Pascal called Chock a stalker for his behavior during that date and during the competition. However, I think Chock was just certain about wanting to be with Joan. I can't fault him for showcasing his love in ways that caught Joan's attention more than the others. I don't believe Chock had any malice towards the other men, and since he won Joan's heart, his strategy worked for him. I do see that his actions caused him to lose fans and develop a negative reputation. Moreover, Chock divorced his first wife and never married his second fiancée of 9 years, which I know was seen as a red flag. I can see how fans would think Chock's relationship history makes him look flighty. But it did all lead him to Joan, so I feel the backlash about Chock is unwarranted. Joan firmly stated before she started the Golden Bachelorette experience that she would always put her family first, and that she didn't want to move away from her family. But Joan is doing just that. Joan and Chock revealed their plans to play out their relationship between Joan's native Maryland, Chock's native Kansas, and hopefully obtain a shared home in New York City. But it isn't panning out that way, and many fans feel Chock is causing Joan to leave her family behind, but I don't see it that way. I do admit that Joan has been sacrificing to be with Chock, but it's been her own prerogative. She has finally found love in her sunset years, and I see her taking the initiative to make her relationship work, even if it means spending less time around her loved ones. Joan and Chock recently went to Cancun, Mexico, where they enjoyed themselves without the presence of their families. I'm certain they need that time to develop their relationship, and I don't see Chock as being the only driver in that narrative. I used to think Chock was overbearing and potentially aiming to isolate Joan post-show, given his actions on the Golden Bachelorette, but I now see Joan as the catalyst for how her love story with Chock will go. I don't think Chock is encouraging Joan to spend more time with him and less with her family. I just think that's how their early relationship is taking shape. I feel they haven't had enough time to work out their engaged life with the inclusion of both of their families, and time will tell if they can manage that aspect better. In all the interviews and Instagram posts I've seen of Joan and Chock, I see that Chock is doing his best to support Joan while trying to navigate their blended lives together. I think he's misunderstood from his time on the Golden Bachelorette, and he's not getting enough credit for his genuine love and respect for Joan, how they're handling their relationship challenges, or his effort to add both their families to the mix. I believe time will vindicate Chock, and he and Joan will settle their schedules and be able to incorporate their families better.